Hey everybody, Tony D, I'm back. That was a scary few hours. The computer would not boot. I don't know how much longer my computer's going to last, but I have a new one on order. Hopefully it's going to get here soon. And in the meantime, I'm just going to struggle with this. I've got backups, but it requires me to drive around. So anyhow, let's get into a hot take real quick. I'm only going to do one or two videos now, just until I can get the computer up and running. The big news is still the impeachment and how horrible it's going for the Democrats. Now, you may be a Democrat watching this and going, what the heck are you talking about? I mean, Trump is on his way out, isn't he? Isn't he? No. Trump's not on his way out. And even some of the mainstream, hardcore left media outlets are beginning to acknowledge that. They're beginning to acknowledge that Trump's economy is working. And look, I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't think his economy would be good at all. That was the one thing I thought he'd be bad at, because Trump spends too much money on his projects. He bankrupts his company as part of his business dealings. But the thing is, to him, that's just part of the business dealings. He's operating at a different level here, and he's making moves, and they're working for the most part. Now, that doesn't mean he's a panacea of cure-alls for everything. Those of you who support Trump sometimes get a little too excited. I understand your support for Trump, and I respect that. But don't get too excited, because the man certainly has his flaws. And at the end of the day, the one of the good things about him is even he understands his own limitations. He's trying to get done what he can in the time he has it. He's not trying to save the world. He's trying to do specific, reasonable goals. Renegotiating NAFTA is a reasonable goal for a president, certainly. He certainly had the power, and look, they said it couldn't be done. They said he was crazy for canceling it. They say Trump's crazy every other day about something, but really most of his goals are, for a president, fairly realistic. Even though he says stuff that's blustery, stuff that's, they say he lies a lot, and he kind of does, but really there's different kinds of lies. And there's lying to hurt people, there's lying to hide stuff, and then there's exaggerations of, people who are trying to sell you something. So when a car salesman tells you that the car is really great and he loves driving it and, it's the best car you can buy, is that totally true? Well, maybe not in the most technical sense if you go out and measure it. Maybe he likes a certain car that's better, not the one he's selling you. But, he's not completely lying to you. He's trying to sell you a car. I mean, there are car salesmen who will completely lie to you and sell you a lemon. But at the end of the day, there are rules in place that he really can't sell you a total lemon. And he's trying to sell you a car. And sometimes there are good deals and sometimes there are bad. So Trump is no different in that. Some of his policies, in my view, aren't good. I mean, I don't think his policy towards Saudi Arabia or Yemen are good. Now, maybe he has a long-term plan, and he's going to turn that boat around. Maybe he sees it differently than I do. He sees it as, well, we're going to give them weapons. It's going to lead to their downfall, and down the road, we'll be better off for that. I don't think so. I think in the long run, his policy towards the Saudis, when the Saudis do fall apart, and they will fall apart one day, we're going to regret having given them the plans to the Black Hawk helicopters, because they're going to jazz them up and use them against somebody, maybe us. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Can't tell the future. Or maybe behind the scenes, he's telling the Saudis what they need to hear. I don't know. What I do know is Trump gets results. And if you compare that to other presidents who have done horrible things and not gotten any kind of results, you have to say to yourself, well, at least he's getting results. You know, he seems to be killing a lot fewer people, and the economy's good. He seems to not want to start wars and actually try to pull us out of some. Now, he hasn't been totally successful on that point, but he has moved the needle forward with North Korea. He has done some things that are pretty positive. So, other than saying things to people, tweeting things to people, and making statements that a lot of Democrats and their supporters really, really, really hate, I can't really see the kind of evidence that should lead to an impeachment. You know, Bill Clinton was impeached, and he wasn't even impeached for what he did, which was to mess around with his intern. He was impeached for things that he said. And again, impeachment is a political process. If you don't have a handle on the politics, it's pointless. You cannot, because there's nobody higher than the president to say, you're going to jail. It's not the way it works. You have to have a plurality of people to say, nope, you're no good, out you go. The Republicans are not going to do that. And there are a lot of Democrats who don't want to do it either. I think Nancy Pelosi is nuts for forcing this impeachment vote. I think there's a good chance she could lose. She's going to be twisting arms like crazy. She's already got at least 2 or 3 Democrats who are out. She loses about 7 or 8 more. I think it won't even pass. But at this point, they've made so many mistakes, that would be par for the course for the Democrats if they have the impeachment vote and it fails. I mean, at that point, you would think that the Democrats would just throw up their hands and give up and maybe spend the next 4 years trying to build something, go to another tact or something. It's very possible they're just doing this because this is their last hurrah, and then after this, they're going to do that. After this, they're just going to throw up their hands and go, well, Trump's going to be president. No sense messing around. I mean, the fact that they passed this new version of NAFTA, it's called something else. It's like the USMACA something. On the same day that they're announcing impeachment is nuts. The optics on that are just insanely bad for the Democrats. If you told me that the Republicans 20 years ago pulled these people aside and said, listen, here's how we're going to destroy your party so the Republicans can have a one-party rule for the next 100 years, and that a lot of these Democrats were in on that, I think I'd have to give that serious consideration because of the amazing way that Democrats continue to blow it. You know, if they had played by the rules, if they had not been a bunch of hysterical maniacs, if they had just waited, if they'd just given Trump a few years and then investigated him on something for real. You know, they were so anxious just to overturn. They thought it would be easy, I guess. I figure they must have thought, it'll be easy. We'll turn this over and he'll be out of office and he won't be president again. Or maybe Hillary will get back in. I mean, and now that's the big news too. Hillary now is polling as the top Democrat above Biden. I think H.A. Goodman is right. I think she's going to enter the race. She won't shut up. She won't stop appearing in places. H.A. Goodman's theory is that part of the reason she's doing that and waiting so long is she's collecting money with both hands, trying to build up a war chest so when she enters the race, she's ready. Because as long as you don't enter the race, anybody can give you money for any reason. It doesn't matter. So she's collecting money while sort of just staying out there. And while she continues to stay out there, Trump kind of can't attack her. He could, but it would be foolish for him to do so. And I think she knows that, and he knows that. But the moment she's in, I mean, first off, she's got to lose, I would say, minimum 25% of the party just walks away in disgust, an absolute disgust. I know people who are hardened Democrats who hate Trump. They suffer from TDS, but they will not vote for Hillary. They will not. So I don't know what she expects. I really don't. And I think she's going to enter the race and lose spectacularly. I cannot imagine her debating Trump again. I mean, I felt she was like one of the worst debaters ever. I don't know what she's going to say. What she's going to say this time. Her delivery, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's smug. It's self-assured and self-righteous and very tense. There's like a layer of hostility that's underneath that is not fun. Not fun. You can sense the viciousness, the waves of it that come from Hillary Clinton. You could just sense it, hearing her talk. There's that tension underneath. Like at any moment, she may bare her teeth and start growling at you like an animal. Whereas Trump, he's fun. I mean, you got to give it to the guy. He seems to have fun. Even when he gets mad, he's kind of fun. He's like somebody's crazy rich uncle. And he just does what he wants. He doesn't seem to be totally mean about it. I mean, when it comes to business, I've heard stories that he's very vicious. But, you know, when it comes to like public speaking and roaming around, he doesn't, you know, what do you expect from the guy? What do you expect him to be? He seems just like a normal dude who's really into hot chicks, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. You know, yeah, he's a bit of an egomaniac, but he acknowledged that in a recent soundbite. It was funny. He's a bit, I mean, I shouldn't say he's self-deprecating because he's really not, but he is self-aware. And I don't think Hillary Clinton is self-aware at all. She just doesn't get it. I mean, when her husband told her during the first election, you have to go to this Catholic League dinner. You have to go. This is a traditional Democratic thing. You have to go. And she wrote back, no, it's not our base anymore. How can you dismiss a part of your base like that? That's just crazy. Why would you dismiss anybody? You're trying to run for office. Even if you think you got it in the bag, you got 80% of the vote, you're just going to blow off a dinner from a group of Democrats? Like there was a bishop involved. I mean, how could you blow these people off? Just go to the dinner. What's it going to do for you? What? It doesn't say you're endorsing anything. It's just you're going to a dinner that Democrats have gone to for years. It's not, I mean, this is a woman whose mentor was Robert Byrd. Robert Byrd, Senator Robert Byrd. Look him up and see the white hood that he's wearing. I mean, that guy, yeah, that's a Southern Democrat. And the fact that she was still buddy-buddy with him all the way up until his end shows you, yeah, you know, she is an old Southern Democrat in a lot of ways. It doesn't mean she's not capable. That's the scary thing about Hillary Clinton. She's very capable. She gets into you give her the levers of power. Oh, she's going to pull them. You're going to pull a lot of them. And she's going to do stuff. Trump has shook up the status quo, and the economy's booming. Just booming. There's jobs everywhere. There's money to be made. I don't think there's any way he could lose this election unless something tragic happens to him. And I think the Democrats really, really, really need to rethink their strategy. Just step back from the brink and go, whoa, let's stay low key. Keep your heads down for a while and just, work on stuff internally. Get your people together and stop this TDS nonsense for once and for all. All right, that's my video for today. Like I said, I'm hobbled on the videos until I get this computer situation straightened out, so hopefully it'll be soon. Sorry for the delay, but I'll see you next time.